Hey Tubies, it's Psychic Bob. Well, here I am. I am out on a beautiful day. It's Wednesday, and that means it's Wiccan Wednesday. I got little Junior here with me. This is Louie's younger brother. He's out with me, and I just came from lunch, had a wonderful time. I was just sitting here noticing our Sun Lord. He's high in the sky and looking beautiful. Check him out. Now, you know, the thing is that now we're approaching Mabon. And Mabon is where we're going to really start to see the aging of our Sun Lord. We're going to talk about the wheel of the year a little later, and we'll explain that in more detail. But from here on out, you're going to start to see the Sun Lord start to fade. He won't be as high in the sky, and he won't be as powerful. He's starting to age now. And but until he's gone, he's still casting a beautiful glow. You can see here I'm at the edge of the park, and the leaves are just glowing. It's a spectacular afternoon. So let's walk on along and talk about Mabon. Come on along. If you look here, you can see that the leaves are starting to change. There's some yellow creeping in there, that tree, and if you look down here, you can see different colors popping in. Mabon is the second of the harvest festivals. Back in August we had Lammas, which was the first harvest festival, the Feast of Grains, the Feast of Bread. Now this is the second harvest, and then our third harvest will be at Samhain. But you know, as I watch now the leaves change, I can feel an undercurrent. And as you look here behind me, if you guys can see this, you see the colors happening. They're yellow. These trees are turning yellow back here. And it's just beautiful. But it's a sign that we're entering into a new season. We're entering into the autumn. The autumnal equinox is when we have an equal amount of daylight versus darkness. And after Mabon, it's going to start to get darker much quicker. And this is why I'm saying we're going to see the Sun Lord starting to age rapidly. He's now kind of at advanced middle age. And when we get to Samhain, the Lord will cross into the summer land and be dead for a while. And that's when the goddess will grieve. But until, you know, it's like I said, it's like life. Until you go, you might as well have a good time. And Mabon brings out all the beauty of the season. The light is very fascinating right now because the angle of the earth and the way the sun hits it, it creates spectacular sunsets. So, you know, be watching the sunset as you're out. And I would really encourage you, you know, get out and walk at this Mabon time. No matter where you are. You might say, well, Bob, I live in the desert. We don't have leaves like where you live. But you know, everywhere around the earth there are changes now. So I encourage you, get out, see what changes are happening. You know, pretty neat stuff. And here I am at the great grandmother tree. This tree is over 300 years old, and it's an historic landmark in Alexandria. And if you look up here at the top of the tree, you can see that the leaves on the grandmother tree are also starting to change. Can you see that, guys? Most of the tree is green, as you can see. It's an amazing tree. But when we look way up here to this branch, we can see the change right there happening. Do you see the color? So Mabon is showing itself even in the great grandmother tree. I tell you, I love this tree. A few years ago, we almost lost it in a lightning storm. But luckily, the Park Service was able to save it, and we still have our blessed tree. I think if there was an active Druid group, this would be a temple area for them. But since nobody claims it, I'm also claiming it as a special Wiccan shrine. So our great-grandmother tree is a sacred place, and I welcome you to visit with her. I love this time of day. You can see the sunlight filtering through the trees here. And it's so calm and so beautiful. But see, you wouldn't know about how the light changes unless you get out and walk. So I really encourage you, get out and discover the mystery of the earth changes. As you can see along my path here, even now the leaves are starting to fall. For my viewers in England, you guys call it autumn. In the United States, we call it fall. But it's also autumn here too. But as you can see, the light is just filtering down through here. Here's our majestic oaks. I'm so thankful that our city preserved this parkland. Just beautiful. For those of you who are new to the craft and still collecting your ritual tools, Mabon is a wonderful time to go out and see if you can find natural things to use for your ritual work. For example, here at this oak, there's been a storm and a number of branches have come down. And if we just walk around the base of the tree, we can find some beautiful sticks that could be, for example, wands. This would make a lovely wand. Look at that. You should peel the bark off of it, sand it down, and then seal it with ritual images. You've got a wonderful, powerful, magical tool. And it carries extra power because this tree was struck by lightning. So this is what they call a fireborn wand. This is something that you might want to think about. I always find that each of the Sabbats has its own special energy. Mabon is one of those times that I feel it's like a quiet Sabbat. And that's because everything comes into balance at Mabon. As you look here at this beautiful water, it's calm and tranquil and sparkling. Just lovely. And as we look down the stream here, we can see how gentle it's flowing. It definitely has Mabon energy. So tell me about where you guys live. Do you sense the change of the seasons? Do you feel the energy of the Sabbats? I'd love to hear about that. Here I am by this picturesque overlook. It really looks like something out of an old Hollywood movie, doesn't it? It's just a perfect and tranquil setting. Let's take a further look. See the trees overhanging and the beautiful water below and the lush greenery. I tell you, nature at its finest. But you can even see here across the way that some of the leaves are starting to change. There's a little bit of yellow popping into that greenery over there. Can you see it? Just a hint. Soon all of this will be ablaze in an orange, red, golden glow. And we'll definitely film that. I really am into this Sabbath. I can feel it in my bones. And I also know it's a change of season because our geese, our Canadian geese, are here stopping in on their way heading south. If you look through there, you can see some of our geese through the foliage. Aren't they beautiful? Here they are. Hey Tubies, well here I am back home and I am here at the Wheel of the Year. So I thought we'd take a little look at the Wheel of the Year and learn a little bit more about how this Sabbat of Mabon fits into the Wheel of the Year. So let's take a look. I love my giant tapestry because it shows all of the Sabbats and helps me to understand where I am in the cycle of life. If you look up here at the top, we started off the year at Yule, okay, and Yule was our first big Sabbath of the year. And throughout the year, we've gone down through Imbolc, which was in February, Ostara, which was in March. That was the spring equinox, or known as the vernal equinox, and it is directly across the wheel from our upcoming Sabbath, which is Mabon, which is the autumnal equinox. So this is kind of the dividing line between the year. Now, we go down, we had Beltane back in May, then we had Litha, which is behind Lord Pan here. Here's Lord Pan. And the summer, that was our summer solstice. Then last month we had Lammas, or back in August, which was the Feast of Bread. And you'll see our Sun Lord is highlighted on the wheel. And now we're heading into the seasons of the harvest. Here's the grain imagery. And here we are at Mabon. And you'll notice that in the Mabon season, this is where all the leaves really start to change and to fall. And as we were outside today, we saw some of that yellow. See how we got some yellow in those leaves there? So this is really reflective of kind of what's going on, you see? And so this is the second harvest festival. As I said, Lammas was the first, Mabon is the second, and we got Samhain, which will be October 31st, will be the third. And then we go into the death of the Lord, and the nights from here on are really dark and short, all the way up till Yule. So if you step back and look at it, you know, from the beginning here, we've gone around the wheel. We are now at this Mabon time. We're 3/4 of the way around the wheel. So our last quarter will take us, as I said, to Samhain and then to Yule, where we start again. And we will have gone through a full year of the Sabbats. You know, some of you have written to me and you said, Psychic Bob, I feel like I've gotten off track with my life. I've gotten back into old habits that are limiting and destructive. Some of you may have gone back to relationships that were unhealthy, or maybe you just, you know, overindulge, eating too much, drinking too much, you know. Whatever it is that, you know, you feel you might have some struggle with or have struggles and have excess with, Mabon is the time to get back on track. It's the time where energy is balanced. And so if you're one extreme or the other, now it's time to come back to center. And that will give you the power to move through the rest of the year. You know, as I said earlier, the Sun Lord is starting to fade now, and we're seeing him become weaker. And the goddess knows that the Lord is fading, and she watches with a little bit of anxiety. And as you see the leaves fall, that's kind of like the goddess shedding her tears, for she knows that the Sun Lord's passing is coming soon. So, you know, if you're at a place in your life where you're worried or you're fearing change, know that the goddess will give you strength to move through the change. And the Sun Lord gives his last dying breath all the way to Samhain to give you power for whatever you need. So this actually is a time of power. And you might look outside and say, well, the whole world seems to be dying. But really, it's not dying, it's going underground. And so we too should go deep within and start to find our inner selves and let that inner glow become our warmth. Because as the outer world starts to become cold, our inner glow will be the power that warms us, gives us hope, and gives us light. And here I am at my altar to Lord Pan that's set right below our Sabbat wheel. And you know, Pan is one of the horned lords. He's the god of nature, and he's one that I have great devotion and reverence to. And, you know, at this time of Mabon, if you want to set an altar, you can start to incorporate wheat sheaves into it or leaves like we see on our wheel here. Keep a little green in your altar because green is still present on the earth. So I'm going to add in the coming days some leaf structures and stuff here. I haven't had time to do it, but you know, I'm going to keep my base cloth of green because the earth is still living. And even though our Sun Lord's power is fading and our Nature King's power is fading, he still is yet alive, and green represents his life. So, you know, you could set an altar, maybe have a green altar cloth, and you don't have to have a big fancy altar like this one. Your altar could simply be having a green cloth with a vase with some seasonal leaves, some of the changing leaves or flowers in it. That would make for a wonderful altar. And if you want to put candles in, you should have some green candles and maybe some yellow candles and orange. You see, and as we get closer to Samhain, the altar's shift will become much darker. We'll have more browns in it and blacks and oranges, you know, the traditional colors of Samhain and Halloween. But for today, you know, we're doing okay to have some greenery in because our Sun Lord, our Earth Lord, is still with us. Well, guys, I am so glad that you came along on this little walk today, and we got to spend time reflecting on the changing seasons and what this Sabbath of Mabon means. So I hope that, you know, wherever you are, this will help you to get ready for the feast and just really celebrate it. It falls on the 22nd this year, which is, I believe, Friday. I always celebrate on the 21st, but either 21st or 22nd, you can celebrate it. But anyways, I hope wherever you are, that you have a wonderful and blessed Mabon. And I send you all my blessings, my greetings, and my good wishes always. Thanks for being here. Listen, keep it here at Spirit Channel. We got more coming. Tomorrow's Thursday. That means Vlog Thursday. We'll have some adventure, so you don't want to miss it. By the way, if you want to help Psychic Bob out, like this video, favorite it, share it with your friends, post it around, and hit subscribe. Be part of our channel. We'd love you to be here. Well, you guys rock. I love you. Sending you my blessings. We'll see you back here tomorrow for Vlog Thursday. But until then, may you always blessed be.